Welcome to the brand new episode of the I Love ARR podcast. I'm Chanda from Melbourne, Australia. Today we've got a bunch of crazy Australian ARR fans. I've got Sunil Karthik from Sydney, I've got Rohit from Sydney, I've got Nash from Sydney, and I've got Anu from Melbourne. These guys are absolutely crazy. I thought I was the only one who was crazy to a degree, but these guys blew me away. You will actually notice that during the conversations. These guys were absolutely interesting to talk to, and they shared so many memories of how ARR's music influenced them, or can I say impacted them in their lives, and it's purely magical. I would like to say thank you to the man himself, AR, because it was because of his music I have been able to connect with these amazing souls. Thank you so much once again for watching or listening to this podcast. Hope you enjoy this one.
I'm super excited. I've got Anup, I've got Sunil, I've got Rohit, and I've got Naushad. So, guys, I'm just going to kick it off by asking you maybe one after the other. Maybe Anup, you can go first. Where did it all start? When did you feel that, okay, this music is doing something for me? And that's A.R. Rahman's music.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast, Chanda. It's been a pleasure. It is a pleasure. So I actually stayed away from home. I was studying a residential school called Navodaya from grade 6 until grade 12. So I think it was in 1991 when I got admission to Navodaya.
Yes.
And since then, I only come home for Christmas holidays, and I grew up in Kerala, so for Onam holidays. And during one of those trips, so this was in a remote location called in Kerala. My school was, and there was a jeep ride to the stand, and someone played this song in the jeep. That's when I listened to ARR for the first time.
What song is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Can you guess? You guess.
Roja?
Chinna Ase.
It was Roja, but it was Pudu Vellai Mazhai.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
It was. I was young. I was only 11, but it was a revolution. I was hearing something totally new, and I wanted to know who this person is, who made this music. And I came home. I have an elder brother. I asked him. He was in grade 10, so I asked him. I listened to this song. I could hum the tune, so I asked him, "Do you know this song? Who the composer is and who sang it?" And then he revealed this name for the first time, and that's where the craziness started.
Awesome, man. And then anything else, like after that, what did you do once you thought, okay, this is the guy, this is the music that I want to hear? Did it decided to continue and absolutely get hooked?
Unfortunately, not, because in Navodaya school we were not allowed to bring MP3 player. We were not allowed to. there was no music system. So my only resort was my parents used to visit me twice a month, and they would bring a small Walkman.
Oh yeah.
With a cassette, and that's how I used to listen to all those songs.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had to wait long. I had actually wait long before I could actually enjoy music in Purviga.
Understand. Awesome. So moving on, Sunil, tell us about your journey. Where did it all start? Which song? And even if you can sing it, buddy.
Okay. It has been a quiet journey. It's actually, even before Roja came out, when I was a kid, I used to be fascinated by some of the ads like MRF tires.
Oh yeah.
Especially there is one program in Doordarshan called Spirit of Unity Concert, which used to come on Sunday mornings. I was a kid. I was probably first standard, I think. I used to be playing outside. Whenever I hear that song, that music, during the breaks or the title song, I used to run, come, watch and go back. So that's when the music hit me. But I didn't know that this was the man. So when Roja happened, I was in 5th standard. That was the only cassette which I didn't purchase. That was a cassette which my sister purchased. She was senior to me. So she knew more about music and she bought the cassette. I heard and it completely blew me away. And more than that, we went to watch the movie in the theater. I was in Cochin. And there was this theater called not Padma, something else. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So I just entered the movie hall, and there was a scene going on. We were a bit late. You know, the first scene where they capture the terrorist.
Yes.
Where the soldiers are running and all, the
Yes,
music.
yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that. Wow.
That kind of fixed me to Rahman. There was one thing that, you know, that music which I heard, I've never heard it before. The kind of energy, the kind of, I don't know, I don't have words to express the kind of excitement which I had during that time. So
we can see
after that, that hit me very hard. After that, you know what happened? I was in Kerala, and we used to have movies played in cable TV in those days, in '92.
Yeah.
So there was a Mohanlal's movie which was played. I midway, me and my friend. Even he is my very close friend and a Rahman fan as well. So we were blown away by the background music. We didn't know who the person was, and we had to again wait for the night so that they could replay the movie, and we were waiting for the title, and it said A.R.Rahman. Then he said yes. That's why the music is so good. So then in '90s, movie after movie was, he was upgrading his benchmark. And I would say Tirida was his best so far, at least for me. There are so many incredible and crazy things which I can just go on and on and on. The things which I did to listen to his music. Probably I'll come to that slowly.
Tirida was the absolute best so far.
Sorry, come again?
Why may I ask, why do you think Tirida was his absolute best? What made you feel that was his best? Just curious.
I don't know to talk in technical terms, but the impact that it had on me, the different genres he made in a single album. Right from Rasati to contrasting Kunjum Nilave. Right?
Yeah, of course.
So many contrasting things, but still the core was the same. And especially the background score of Tirida. Wow. I still get goosebumps when I listen or watch the movie. I didn't like the movie though. I just watched the movie just for the background score.
Really? And you collect all the background scores too, right? I remember you were spamming it.
You know what? I have an old hard disk. I have huge collection of all background scores, but it got corrupted. I managed to somehow, get access to it.
Can you share it somewhere on Google Drive or something, and then just so that we can?
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
I have the entire discography, all the background scores. I love listening to background scores.
Is it somewhere in the cloud or OneDrive?
It's on iCloud, so I guess you can download it.
Okay, cool.
Let's share with each other, man.
I'll give you, sure, definitely. I'll tell you my tryst with Rahman. I remember we went to a restaurant to have a meal on Sunday. And this Sunday, it was just immediately after Rohit cassette release. I had no idea who Rahman was. Nothing. Zero, blank. So we went to have a meal in this restaurant, dinner on a Sunday night. And there was a shop just outside the restaurant where you can go and buy some knickknacks, sweets, everything. It was like a convenience store, a mini convenience store of sorts. So the shopkeeper, he became very close to us because we go there very often. And he looked at me and said, boss, you should listen to this tape. It is brand new, just released. It is Ilayaraja's assistant, he told me. So I knew Ilayaraja a little bit. I'd grown up with a little bit of Ilayaraja's music. So he told me this is Ilayaraja's assistant. So I said, okay, I'll take the tape. I went home and we had that grey color national radio that everybody had. That grey color national radio which had this tuck player. So I went and put the tape inside, and I was just going to undress and change into night clothes, and then the reggae starts. I'm like, what is this? I've never heard of anything like this. And then Chinna Chinna Aasai starts, and then what really hooked me was I didn't even know it was Rahman. When he starts, I was like, wow, goosebumps. That was goosebump moment right over, right? At that very moment, it was complete goosebumps. For many years, I did not know it was Rahman who voiced that bit because he was not credited on the tape. His name was not credited for that particular riff, you see. So that was total goosebumps moment. I was like, I've not heard anything like this ever. The way it sounded, and then my brother and I, we both are massive fans, and we kept listening to. So it was about 8 o'clock. We started the tape. Sunday night. Next morning was school. And we kept listening to it on loop again and again and again, like 5, 6, 7 times. And we were just fascinated. We were just hooked. We were like, we've never been exposed to a music quality like this, an arrangement like this, the layers. And after that, we were obsessed. So by the time you listen to it like 10 times, we could actually discern. We could say, okay, see, you know what? He has layered this beat, and there's a bass, and then he has a chord on top of this. We've not heard some, this kind of lucid arrangement. No, lucid arrangement. I've never heard anything like this. I was like, wow. We were so fascinated. And then I'll just cut the chase. From then on, we used to buy 4 tapes because the one won't be enough. The first tape will
wow. Is it because
we keep listening to it again and again. So the first tape will go. The second tape will be okay. The fourth tape is never used. It's kept pristine. You see, it is only for those very special moments when you want to plug in the headphones. That's only the fourth tape. We'll take the fourth tape out only at that time. And I remember we used to cut these newspaper clippings, and we used to make our own album art because we were bored. We had to differentiate between the 4 tapes. So we were bored having the same album art. So we used to make our own album art, cutting the newspaper clippings, and we'll color them as different colors. So the blue will be the one which is the second tape. The green will be the one which you cannot touch at all. If guests come home, they get tape 2. Nobody gets tape 4. Tape 4 is only for my brother and I. Only we can touch the tape 4. It is colored green, and it is never touched by anybody else. Even my mom and my dad wouldn't touch the tape 4 because that is only for us.
Do you still have those album covers?
No, I don't. I'm afraid not. No, when I got married, I wished so. I wish too. I really wish. I remember Bombay was a turning point because the Tamil came out, and we were blown out of our minds by the Tamil version, and then the Hindi version came out, and the Hindi version had Remo's riffs on top of Arabic al-Ramar, and so we bought 2 of each, 2 Tamil, 2 Hindi. And I got into I still remember it so well. I got into an absolutely massive fight with my mom because somebody came home, some relative came home, and they looked at the collection because its collection is usually in the tape collection box, you see. Yeah. And they looked at the collection and they said, "Oh, we will take 1 of each." And I was mad, livid, completely livid. I said, "Do you know this tape does not have the Remo riff on it? This is the original tape. How dare you give it away?" And we couldn't get tapes that easily back then, you see. It was very difficult. You had to go source it, buy it. And I still remember that fight. So Ritchie Street, we used to go to Ritchie Street in Chennai. It is in Mount Road, very far. We live in Keel Park. So we used to go all the way to Ritchie Street to that Sony showroom or whatever it was called back then. And we had to go and buy it over there. Stereo Vision. It was called Stereo Vision. I remember
Stereo Vision, that's right.
It was Stereo Vision, and we used to go and buy it there. So it's almost impossible. And that's why when we go, we buy 2. We buy two of Hindi.
So you basically had a couple of copies of every album then?
Yes. We made sure the CDs came. I think my first CD was Memadam. And then immediately after I bought that is a very underrated album. I love it to bits. The background score.
Can I ask you one question since you mentioned that album? Do you guys actually like that Palakattu Machanukku song?
I like that song. I love it.
I love that song.
I love it so much, man.
I love the song.
I love it the way he does that. The beat gets you going. Like, I will share one this one with me. My wife is not. I can't sing to save my life, but I can definitely when I can say it without any shame. I can say it when I first had a crush on a girl. The background score that played in my mind's ear was May Madam's background score.
Wow.
I can still remember it in my mind's ear so well. That moment I saw a girl and I sort of got infatuated with her, and the music that played in my mind was that May Madam score. I can still remember it to this very day.
Did you end up?
I didn't. No, I did not. That is why I said my wife is not here. I can happily say this now.
Okay, awesome, man. That's a deadly story. My goodness, I thought I would be one of the craziest, but this guy 4 copies of one album, tape on. My goodness, crazy.
We were nuts. My brother and I were nuts. Rohit as well. He'll tell you more stories.
Rohit, your turn, man. Go for it.
For me, it was. I liked Roja. Pudu Vellai Mari was, I think, my all-time favorite track.
Yeah.
But my turning point was Tirda Tirda. I didn't buy the cassette, but my neighbor made me hear the cassette, and then I went and bought it. Then I went and watched the movie, and then I was hooked. That's the background score, the chase. That you just you take it to another level of that movie.
Yeah.
And as I think it was Sunil who said Tirda Tirda is one of the best, and I second it. I can't. I don't think that. I think that there might be one album that's better than that. For me, would be what's the one that Alai Payude.
Okay.
I think and Iruvar.
Yeah, Alai Payude. Yeah, same. Iruvar. Oh wow.
Iruvar. I think Iruvar was one of my I can't pop that album anymore. Like, he's had 99 songs. He's got a few hundred albums after that. But Iruvar is the background score, the acting, the movie itself.
And when Aishwarya Rai comes, they just lift the camera up to show her face. That'll be her first profile. This one, and this is. Oh, she was absolutely gorgeous, and then the music is just playing on your mind. Oh, it was just it was beyond, and this guy A.R.Rahman
to another level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I'm surprised how you guys even remember the background scores of movie that was so old, man.
Because it has made such an impression on our minds. It has made such a massive impression that I still remember it so much.
Actually, talking about sorry, go Rohit. Yes.
No, yeah, go.
No, you go. It's okay.
No, for me, the whole Tirda Tirda, where he, that first scene where they are after, what's that song? Forget the name of the song. Kannum
Kolayattal. Yes.
Just after that, when that background score starts, that is when I like, damn, something is wrong with. Is it me or something wrong? Because I don't know how many people actually. I have never listened to background scores before that.
I'll just hum one background score from Tirda Tirda, which I love so much. It's played around that same time. That one, right? That's my favorite.
And then it goes, and it goes. Oh, it shifts everywhere. It is an eclectic background. There's one more background score which I remember so brilliantly is Sapne. There is Minsara Kanavu. So she'll fall in love, and then she'll be watching that chime, that dancer within that glass bowl, and he would have created vanilla as if it is chiming, as if it is a chime, and then it'll start with and then she'll get up, and then the violin will start in a little. Oh my God, goosebumps moment. Even now I can remember it. Goosebumps. Oh my God! Even when Kajal was absolutely brilliant, but then that place where that violin riff just comes in, it'll just fill the entire audience. Oh my God!
Do you have Do you have that on? Do you have a
Yeah,
copy of
I
that?
have
Like
it.
the
Yes.
I found
I
that.
do have.
Even
So-
I can actually find it right now. I've listened to it even quite recently. I love it so much.
Okay, great. Anup, these guys have gone mad with the background scores, man. What do you think? What's that background score that hit you straight? Anup?
Sorry, guys, I lost you for a while.
No, Are you okay? Are you still here with us? I can edit this out. It's fine.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Okay, right. Okay, Anup, you're still there?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was saying that these guys have gone absolutely crazy with the background scores. And what's that background score that hit you straight and you felt like, oh my goodness, what's this kind of moment?
Look, I've seen many crazy fans, but nothing like these guys, man. They remember. My friends, we discuss about songs and since the early 90s, but nothing of this kind. Like the background score of each and every movie from the word go. This is crazy. But
You guys even remember the shots? In fact,
explaining the angle,
oh my god.
It's made such an impact, you see.
Yeah, but
Anup, let me intervene. You must have seen this movie called Yodha, right?
yes,
Malayalam movie.
Yes.
According to me, that's like one of his best works in background music.
Best works. Yes.
Yeah.
The movie itself
Because people miss talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree. So, if you watched it, half of the movie was shot in Kerala, and the second half was shot in Nepal. Yeah,
Nepal.
and the way he did the score, like, there is an there is a scene where the hero Mohanlal and Jagati, the comedian, they compete each other, and there is a song. Padagali Chandi Changri Makli Borkli.
Oh, what a song! Yeah.
That's a huge song sung by two legendary singers, Yeshdas and M.G. Srikumar. Imagine that was one of his first songs ever composed, and it's still such a great song.
I actually for the first time after I couldn't find the cassette or the CD for Yodha. I actually asked somebody for a good copy, and I got the good copy of that song after like 20 years. Like every copy that I've got has been
very bad,
really bad quality-wise. But after a long time, on Tuesday night, I actually got a good copy of that song. Of Padagal.
Awesome.
And the Malayalam version as well.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Tamil version was good. The Ashokan, the Tamil version of that same album had a good rip somewhere. So I have that. The Malayalam version was always bad rips. Either there was something. It was very muddled, very badly ripped. I think that was the one which was doing the rounds. But I finally found one nice, good copy too.
There's one song in Yodha which was not featured in the movie, but it was later, it was put in this movie. Which one was that? Pavitra in Tamil. Sevanam.
Oh,
there is a song.
Sevanam.
Originally from Yodha.
How did you know that, man?
Yeah.
I just know it, man.
Actually, you're humming it. Do you want to go for that? Do you want
Anup, go for it, mate. Sing for us.
Try one or two lines.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me to sing, I would rather sing Pudu Vellamani, man.
Go for it.
Go for it. Yeah. We love it.
புது வெள்ளை மழை இங்கு பொழிகின்றது இந்த கொள்ளை நிலா உடல் நனைகின்றது இங்கு சொல்லாத இடம் கூட குளிர்கின்றது மனம் சூடான இடம் தேடி அலைகின்றது நதியே நீயானா கரைநானே சிறு பறவை நீயானா உன் வானம் நானே புது வெள்ளை மழை இங்கு பொழிகின்றது இந்த கொள்ளை நிலா உடல் நனைகின்றது
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Nice, man. Very nice, man. Very nice. Well done.
Your heart and soul.
That's the first song I actually, not Chinna Chinna Asai, but that was the first song I actually went. There's something about this guy.
Absolutely, that's what I said. That's the first song that I listened to as well.
Right.
There's one song in Roja which I didn't like for quite some time. The song is Rukmani, yeah. I kind of liked it post 2000.
I watched the film. No, I like that. I like the song when I watched the film. I was like, wow, this is actually a sort of a raunchy song, but he's made it into quite a nice song. I liked it after I watched the film. Same here. I also didn't like Rukmani that much.
I think in Guru, Bazi Laga, it just didn't work for me.
Bazi Laga. Okay, yeah.
I like the songs that, what do you call that? Anupallavi, the second tune. We call it Anupallavi, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The second tune of that Bazi Laga is magical, man.
Okay. Anyway,
I love that.
let's not get into that. I mean, let's promote all the cool stuff. And there's obviously likes and dislikes. Some songs work, some songs don't work. But on that note, right, you may have noticed that there are some songs which are like instant poison. It's a killer. Yes. The moment you hear it, it gets you. And there are also a number of other songs which is a slow poison. And so do we touch on what's that killer song for you which just took you over? I know you will have plenty. Maybe Anup, you start.
For me, I don't know if that's many people's favorite, but it's me, Udaya Udaya.
Oh, nice. The ragam itself is amazing.
I was about to tell you that, man.
Yeah, the moment I heard it, absolutely loved it. Each and every song for that reason, but Udaya Udaya especially.
Wow, amazing.
That's one of my ultimate favorites.
Beautiful. And Sunil, is that the same answer for you too?
I'll be contradicting because I was about to put Udaya Udaya in the other category.
Okay,
slow poison category. Initially, I didn't like it. I found it boring, but it grew on me. And now it's like one of the best songs. Yeah.
Awesome, man. What about you, Rohit?
For me, Ye Jo Desa Hai Tera, the Hindi version.
Right.
It's not the lyrics, but the instrumentalization, the way he sings it. You know, you actually like. There are many songs patriotic songs that you hear, but there's something about that. Like even Vande Mataram, phenomenal album.
But phenomenal album.
Ye Jo Desa Hai Tera had this underlying perfection to the song. Right. I don't think anyone's achieved that perfection.
Awesome. And Naushad, how about you?
Okay, I have two instant poison songs for me. Anytime it is instant poison. Both of them are diametrically opposite. One is Rehna Tu.
Oh yeah.
That song itself is one psychedelic song. And then the fingerboard starts in the end, and then that song goes to one beyond. It is as if people are saying, no, Rahman, you can go wherever you want to go. Just go. It just go freak out. And so he kept freaking out in that entire song. So that Rehna Tu is an instant poison for me. And the second is a diametrically opposite song called Only You from Vande Mataram.
Oh yeah.
That is when he starts that cooing itself, I was like, I'm floored. Every time I listen to it, I get goosebumps. That rhythm itself is uniquely Rahman, not uniquely different. It's uniquely Rahman. It is uniquely Rahman, where he plays with multiple layers of same rhythms but different instruments. It's uniquely Rahman, where he does that, and he starts and when he goes that when that violin I'm finished. That itself I'm finished. That is two diametrically opposite songs which are instant poison.
Awesome.
Slow poison is for me is Kannathil Muthamettal, that Rahman song only. What is it? Yeah, Vellai Pookal. Yes. Oh, it's a slow poison. That is one slow poison, and the other slow poison for the same movie was Vidai Kodi Engal Nade also. I love the song. I love the song when Vanikyo Nayakam's voice starts and all. It is amazing. And then when I watched the film, I was in tears. When the expanse where the rockets keep falling and these people are walking in and then starts. I was in tears. I will shamelessly accept that. I was completely drenched in tears with that
There's
song.
nothing to be shameful. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So, Anup, I'm actually coming back to you again. You obviously mentioned about the killer song. What was that Slow Poison song for you? Or both was Udaya?
No, that was Kanathil Muthamittal.
Oh,
yeah, that's also a nice song.
So, does that actually mean you're going to sing 2 lines for us, is it?
Yes, of course. That's what it means. Of course.
നെഞ്ചിൽ ജിൽ 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 കാതിൽ ദിൽ 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 കന്നത്തിൽ മുത്തമിട്ടാൽ നീ കന്നത്തിൽ മുത്തമിട്ടാൽ. That's how it goes, yeah. ഒരു ദൈവം തന്ന പൂവേ കണ്ണിൽ തേടൽ എന്ന തായേ. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
Beautiful, man.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Actually, talking on that, I want to put the focus back on Naushad.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will keep humming songs, no doubt. What's that one song you always hum, and do you want to hum for it, or hum for us, or just sing for us?
It's very difficult, mate. It's there are umpteen number of songs which I'll keep humming again and again, more and more often.
What was that one song you were humming today?
Today I was actually humming the background score of Minsara Kanavu. I am not joking. I swear to God,
You're still stuck with that crush.
No, that is Minsara. May Madam was the crush. Minsara Kanavu also had such fantastic background scores. You see, when he sees the girl, it has that one unique little riff to it. There's another song which I really like is that the background score from Rhythm. Background score from Rhythm was phenomenal. It was really good. It goes. I love that beat. It is a common theme. It will come, and we know as Rahman fans, we know that he will reduce the tempo in one scene and make it a sad song. He will increase the tempo, will add a beat and make it into a happy song, and that bit will come even when Ramesh Arvind dies, and it will come when they fall in love again. It will come everywhere. It is one phenomenal background score. I'm a background score addict.
Absolute background score fanatic.
Chanda, sorry to interfere. I would want to ask one question to him about Duet, the whole album, or the background score for Duet with Kadri Gopinath.
Yes. I love it, man. I love it. I actually I played saxophone for a short while. I met Mr. Kadri Gopalnath, and he told me go and join with his guru, Mr. TV Gopalan. He told me to go and join him, so I joined with him. I spent a little bit time, but I couldn't because I had to move out of the country. So I used to play sax for a fair bit, and that music from that album was the one which spurred us to go and learn the saxophone. It was an alien instrument to me. I've never heard of that instrument before. I am from the Tamil family, and we never heard of a Western jazz instrument like saxophone. And then
and the way he used it, the way he used
it's just phenomenal. The Western bits were played by the other person called M.S.C. Raja, and I had the pleasure of meeting him. M.S.C. Raja, he played the Western part. So Anjali was played by M.S.C. Raja. Pittupodu was played by Kadri Gopalnath. So he used 2 saxophone players to play in the album. So I had the good fortune of meeting Mr. M.S.C. Raja, and I made him play Anjali saxophone, and I listened to it in his house.
Don't miss an opportunity, do you?
Sorry?
You don't miss an opportunity.
I don't. These opportunities don't come very often, do they?
They don't.
So he asked me to do something for him, you see. So I had to go and get something for him. So I got him that, and I went home. I said, "Sir, I don't want anything, sir. Just please play Anjali, Anjali for me. That's all I wanted to play. And he played from the beginning. Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Sunil, how about you, buddy? What's that song that you were humming today, or you would like to sing for us?
I don't think I can sing, but I can mention the song which I've been hooked to lately. This song in Trida Trida, Pudu Vellai Malai, it has a different version where Rahman sang it in the concert, where he gave a small twist, new twist to it on the Anupallavi section.
Oh, yeah.
He changed the tune a bit.
Yes.
Right. He changed the tune a bit where he sang the song, which I loved so much. So whenever I sing the old version, this used to come and dominate. So I was just trying to, explore the song in two different ways of late. Yeah. And the other song which I have been hooked to recently is Desh Ki Mitti. I think it's Chander's favorite as well.
Oh,
the moment since you put that video out with that song, I've been humming. I wish I had a keyboard where I could actually play that tune. I badly miss my keyboard.
Yeah.
Mine is not hooked to the band.
Sorry? Oh, yeah. What is it? What were you saying, Rohit?
That's from the movie Boss, right? Desh Ki Mitti?
Yes.
Or
that's
is
right.
Yes. Boss, yes.
And Rohit, what about you, man? What's that song you were humming today?
Actually, two. Anjali, and Sarfarosh Ki Tamanna.
What's it? You're going to sing for us?
From Legend of Bhagat Singh.
Which version? Sad or happy? There are two versions.
Actually, I like the sad version.
Me too.
I know that.
The way it builds up, right? The way the instrument builds up towards the end.
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly. And even the background score in that movie, especially where they're going to kill that, they're going to shoot the police officer, but they get the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
that drums.
Phenomenal. Yeah, and the way they transit from this song into that is phenomenal.
Anyway,
and that's
sorry.
Slow Poison song would be from Guru, the one that he sang.
Jage Hai.
Hai.
Oh yeah. Okay. Actually, talking of that, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of songs, but are there any songs you haven't watched the movie yet? You're only listening to the soundtrack which is released and that has brought tears in your eyes, just the music alone?
Bombay Theme.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched the movie, but still.
It actually still does, man, Sunil.
Bombay Theme, yes. Even today.
What about you, Anu?
There's an interesting story actually. My brother, back in the days when they used to dub movies into Hindi or used to copy songs and their own. And there was a time when this movie called Raja Babu, I think, and there was a song, Pak Raja Babu.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I
got so angry, man, and he started writing to A.R.Rahman. He posted a letter.
Not acceptable. No.
Not acceptable.
And he used to believe that A.R. is actually reading those letters. And then one day he's a mad fan of Sonu Nigam. And he actually wrote to A.R.Rahman to make Sonu sing in one of his movies. And then Kismat Se Tum from
Pukar. Oh, fantastic.
And he still believes it was his recommendation.
Okay.
Made that possible.
So that's the song brings tears in your eyes. That's one of the songs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the songs. Actually.
And what about you, man, Rohit?
I've got to say Bombay Theme as well because
I think that, sure.
I used to work in hospitality for a bit, like a short period of my life. I worked in the hospitality industry, and I think it was when they were launching, the Belvedere vodka and Glenfiddich. Grey Goose and Glenfiddich in Australia.
Yeah.
So we were doing. They had the launch in our venue, and just as soon as we were doing pre-dinner drinks, and they opened the venue to Bombay Theme. And my friend was actually standing outside, and he actually called me from the other side of the venue. He like literally showed me, and then all I heard was, I was like,
Wow.
I dropped the tray and I just went. I just literally left the tray there and I walked in.
Yeah.
It was
In fact,
Chanda, I would like to add one thing.
yeah.
It's not necessarily that a sad song makes me cry. There are many days where I, lie down when I go to bed and listen to music. There are a lot of happy songs also.
Yes.
For example, recently this song Kandu Kondain, right? I was just enjoying the melody. It used to give me shivers, and I used to be crying without knowledge. There are a lot of melody songs, happy songs that also make me cry.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a sad song. And I think my most recent track like that is O Ashika. It does something to me, and
yes.
Well, I mean, I'm being very honest. If that plays in my car, if I'm driving somewhere, I'm actually in tears, and I don't know what it does, but it does something to me.
I'll tell you what it does to me.
Okay.
I'll tell you what brings what is one song which I always listen to and brings tears, and then I'll tell you what O Ashika does to me. O Ashika plays with subsonic bass, so the whole thing is structured on that subsonic bass, which you can't hear but you can feel. So when you're in the car and your whole car is vibrating with that song, it really travels into you and it does something really, really crazy. And then the angelic harmonica will start, and then it does really a lot of magic. I love that song. I absolutely, even before the album was released, when the trailer came, that bit captivated me so much. I told Rohit, Macha, this bit does something, dude. It is going to be some kind of craziness is going to happen in this. And exactly like that, that was the first song in the album, and it plays with that subsonic bass. The whole thing is structured. There's no definitive beat till half the song starts. It's always just that subsonic bass and the angelic voices which carry that tune forward. The tune itself is a repetitive tune only, but even though it is repetitive, it gives. Now you know what? Now that I'm talking to you, maybe this is why the other song also gives me tears. The other song which gives me tears is Anmandra Manayile from Minsara Kanavu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song too. It's got no beat. It's only got the tick, 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 tick. That's the only rhythm that carries through the entire song. And then that drift keeps going all the way through. And then and Anuradha Sriram is a very underrated singer. She does a phenomenal job in that song. Same, she does a phenomenal job with the Maniratnam's new movie also, no? The Chekachivada Vanam also, that song also, Madhura Marikolande also was, what a soul-stirring song. She's got a great voice. They made her sing, Gemini and all that, and wasted her voice. I'm a huge fan of Anuradha Sriram's.
I'm actually trying to get her on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, tell her that there was a crazy fan like me who loved her voice to bits, and her voice still brings tears to me. That particular song.
I'll take this clip and send it to her then.
Please do. By all means.
The thing is, I mean, look, actually talking on that note, every individual does something crazy, or he does something very personal where that has an impact on him. Where I'm coming from is, for me personally, when I have to go to a very important meeting or to a job interview, for me, the go-to song is Khwaja Mere Khwaja, right? Yes. And that does something to me, and then it brings a lot of positivity, and I'm out there on a bring it on mode. Then I want to just crush it. So it does something to me, and to be honest with you, all the job interviews, I've not gone for many, but everything that I've been to, I have heard that song before I've stepped into the room, and it does something. So on that note, maybe Sunil, what's that one thing that you do? I mean, your go-to song, or it can be anything before you do. I mean, what I've described is what I do. Is there anything that you do personally relating to Sir's music?
I would listen to Velai Pokal when I'm down. That kind of gives me hope.
Oh, yeah.
When I listen to songs, I don't listen to the lyric, be it Tamil, Telugu, or Hindi. I don't listen to the lyric even now. I let the music do the thing for me. So when I hear Belai Pukal, it gives me a sense of hope. So that's my go-to song. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And Anu?
I don't actually have a go-to song, but that's one song that I really, really love. I just want to add one thing in relation to what Naushad said about O Ashika from '99. My daughter actually was born here, and she pretty much grew here, and she listened to singers like Billie Eilish and stuff. And when she listened to O Ashika, and she straight away asked me, "That's Rahman, right?" And she realized it. I mean, she realized it. Yeah, she her most favorite song is Bhumi Bhumi from Beyond the World.
Awesome. Great.
And that song is amazing.
Yeah.
Rohit,
and you know what? I'll add just one more thing. My current go-to song is "O Meri Chand" from 99 Songs, and I'm desperately waiting for its Tamil version sung by Shreya Ghoshal.
Correct.
I just heard the part that she sung.
Yeah.
And it was out, right? I'm just desperately waiting for the song, the official song.
Rohit and I, we were talking about this. Not immediately after, I said, "Where is Shreya, man? I can't find Shreya in this album. I want to hear.
Naushad was like, where is it? Are you sure this is the full album? Like I said, 14 songs. Yes, there's 14 songs. What else?
Where is Shreya?
But there's no Shreya.
Yeah. And what's your go-to
I'm
song?
also waiting for that.
Rohit, what's your go-to song?
At present, Oracle. I have no idea, but that's just Oracle. It varies. It like for me, this month would be. Last month was Kanachi from Kando and Dane.
Wow.
Before that was Bigel. Singapore.
Yeah.
Like, for me it varies. Like every album is special.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. And do you mind coming a bit forward because we can only see your forehead? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I have a song which is my all-time favorite from an absolutely underrated album, a very horrible movie. It is in a movie called Yuvaraj, and the song is Manumohini. I love that song.
Yeah, thriller.
What an amazing song! It is just it is my go-to song. Whenever I feel down, I listen to Hariji sing that opening, and then it does something absolutely magical. I mean, Anup, I think you should be the one to sing that night. Go for it.
No, I'm not singing it. But it's such a lovely song. I don't want to sing it.
Yeah, it is such a lovely. Oh my God! What a song! Everybody asks me whenever I write that on some forum. I say Manumohini is my favorite song. They all may ask me, "Oh, you mean Manumohana?" I'm like, no, I'm not Manumohana. This is Manumohini. This is the one which is you have to listen. This is the underrated album. A horrible movie, unbelievably terrible movie, but this song was so phenomenal. It's a gem, it's like diamond in the rough. Aladdin Madri Patter.
Yeah, and look, of course.
That.
What were you saying, Rohit?
No, sorry. Even that Shah Rukh Khan movie that came with Anushka Sharma and even that phenomenal music. Jab Tak Hai Jaan. I didn't like that first song, the Challa song. I didn't. Be honest, I didn't like that at all.
Later started to loving it. Yeah.
Exactly. Slow poison.
Yeah. That was half slow poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rohit, I just want to add one more point, and I would butt in after that. Two Christmases ago, not the 2019 Christmas, 2018 Christmas. On Christmas Day, Rohit and I we decided we'll go on an A.R.Rahman discography journey. That was what we called it. So immediately after lunch, we started from where was it, dude? Ashfield, huh? Okay, somewhere. Okay, we started from somewhere in Sydney. I think it was Cronulla or somewhere. I can't remember where it was. So that's where I picked him up. and we just said we will because we have Rahman's all Rahman songs, background scores, bit songs, the whole works in one single discography labeled as Rahmania. So we just went into that playlist and we said we will hit shuffle, dude, and we will just keep driving till we are exhausted of listening to all the songs. And we reached Port Macquarie. We kept driving and we went till Port Macquarie. We were just driving on Christmas Day. It was on Christmas Day, 25th December. There was no food anywhere. Everything was closed. So we just kept driving. The only thing which was getting us going was Rahman's music. And God. We only stopped for dinner at about 11 o'clock in a Macca's because that was the only thing which was open. There's nothing else was open. And we reached Port Macquarie. We kept driving and driving, just listening to those background scores and music. There's one more background score which is one more bit song. Sangamam andin sangamam anandam tura na 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 na. Which which movie is this? Dhanush's movie.
Sorry.
No, dude, Sangamam is which movie does? Sangamam andin sangamam. The Dhanush movie does. Marian.
Yes, Marian.
That is
the church song.
The church song, exactly. He'll come into the church and this song will start, and it's just another phenomenal background bit song which never got its due. Rahman is boss. If you get Rahman, tell him all 1 million fans will fall on his feet for him to release his entire discography. Please release your entire discography. We want to listen. We just want to listen to your background score without these dialogues coming in between. Please release the discography. We will pay money to buy it. Please release the whole damn thing.
Entire albums in one, and to release entire albums in the one song one song 3 months. I can't do that.
Whoever found singles must be killed a slow death. They must be made to watch all of old Simbu movies or something like that. These guys who created singles must be killed. We need full albums. We cannot. I refuse to listen to 99 songs single. I refuse to listen to it. I said no. I will wait for the full album. That experience is listening to that full album.
That experience is completely different, man.
It is different.
Absolutely.
Anyway, guys. I mean, one of the things that I was talking to Ranjit yesterday during the podcast was even during the concerts. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into the planning of the concert, and what he said to me was they actually start working a couple of months before a concert in terms of what they're going to be performing, and then in terms of from planning to execution and absolutely everything. And one of the things I asked him was, how do you know where to sprinkle the magic, especially when you're performing in front of a crowd? Because I know, especially those moments when I spoke about Ranjit, where I told him that when you come forward, or especially when Sir comes, I know there's magic about to happen. So how do you guys plan that? That's what I asked him. And then he had a very, very good answer for that, which I'll let you wait for the podcast. But I wanted to ask you guys, maybe starting with Sunil, is what's that magic moment that is very memorable for you, where it could be his concert, if you have been to one. If it hasn't been that, then if there's something where you remember very, very, how should I say it? It comes to your mind, that magic moment where just can't forget.
Talking about concerts, I've been to a few of his concerts, 7 or 8, I guess. And there was this concert in Madurai, which happened in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
It
was for the Chennai floods. Oh, and I was getting married in 2 months. So I traveled all the way to Madurai just for this concert.
Yeah.
And, there was this interval time during the concert when he played Talli Pogade. Talli Pogade, the movie was not released yet, but the starting beats of it, right? It went the crowd going crazy. Similarly in Sydney as well. Talli Poga De, that song made everybody crazy. So I instantly I could think about that moment, right? When it was played during the concert. Yeah, that was the seller, I think. That's one thing which I can remember now. And talking about magic, how can I pick magic from magic, man? Everything is magic, right?
I like it.
Talking about magic, let me tell this. During Rahman song, when I listen to the Rahman songs, I know that there's some magic in between. Every song has some magic, either interlude or the Anupallavi, the second tune. So I'd be waiting for it. So that's the magic which I would expect when I hear a new Rahman song. Each and every song has a magic. You have to find it.
Nice, of course. I agree. Anup, what about you, buddy? Have you been to any concerts and any magic moment comes to your mind?
Actually, I want to share a moment of regret with you. During the last Melbourne concert, I'm sure you were there, where Benny Dayal, Jonita Gandhi and all performed.
If you have seen one crazy guy going right to the front and dancing like crazy and got shown on the big screen, that was me.
Okay, so, went to the front towards the end of the concert when they really went into the groove.
Right.
But just before the halftime, he actually asked, "Is there any Malayali guy who can come and sing a song for me?" And my friends were actually pushing me, but being the shy guy that I am, I hesitated, and it took me a couple of minutes to gain the strength and walk. But by then,
it just changed.
And I really, I lost that opportunity. I could have just attained the courage just to walk on the stage, but I did not.
Next time we'll push you, mate. We'll push you. We want you to go on stage. You sing really well, buddy.
Of course. And Rohit, what about you, man? Magic moment? It could be a concert too. I know you've been to the concert.
I've been through all three in Australia, except for the Melbourne one. Naushad and I, we were planning to come for the Melbourne one as well.
Yes.
After the one, but he got busy, and I was. For me, interludes. There are some movies with the interludes that just get you. Puduval, where it goes.
You're stuck with that song right from the start.
It's and then you've got Chandralekha.
Yeah. You're stuck with that too.
He's completely stuck.
It's not like of late, Marian, the title track.
Okay. Yeah.
With the guitar and
the guitar. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Rohit, how about Julai Madam Mandal? What's that?
Julai Madam Mandal.
Pudimugams. Julai Madam Mandal.
Julai Madam Mandal.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
That's my favorite.
When the bass guitar goes in, I love it. Really like it.
That one.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy, man.
Goosebumps, man, already.
Goosebumps. Yeah. No, I was going to say same thing which Sunil told me. Talli Poga De in the Sydney concert.
Yeah.
It was so magical because everybody's phone was out. They were waving. When that 10 started itself, people knew it was Talli Poga De because it was so distinct.
That's when the concert actually started.
That's when the concert got its full energy and everybody got really, invested into it. I love that. And everybody's phone was out and they were waving around and Benny was doing some magic and then that was great. That was really good. I also, surprisingly, I like the background score of OK Kanmani. When the dubstep meets I'm a background score guy.
When are you sharing your collection, right?
I will share it. I definitely will. Now I've met you guys and I see that there are so many. I thought I was the only crazy guy who listens to background score. I swear. I thought there were only two crazy guys in the world.
It's one. We are all just crazy.
Okay. No, I thought. Rohit and I, we listen to background scores a lot. We are nuts. We just listen to background scores. there is a we actually planned one trip. We want to plan a trip to we want to plan a trip just only background scores only, no songs, only background scores was a trip for the trip we are planning. We will do that someday.
Oh my God.
When the dubstep meets that that song is also crazily amazing. I really like that. The background score for Kanmani was so refreshing.
Okay.
It was so in, you know. It was addressing. It was Rahman telling the millennials, shut up with my songs. Also, in the Saraku inge vandu kelunga.
That's exactly what I thought when I listened to that song. Yeah.
Yes. I can put this also. You shut up and come and listen to my song.
100% agree with you. Yeah.
You know what I feel about OK Karmani?
Yeah.
I feel that, Chitraji should have won National Award for that song. Malargale Ketin.
Beautiful.
She should have won it.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is, I mean, I had a very interesting thing to share with regards to the concert that I attended in Melbourne 2017. So obviously played the Bombay theme, and it so happened that I thought I was the craziest guy sitting there and humming, singing together with AR for all the songs and all that. And I was like right in probably the second row. And interestingly enough, there was another girl who was right next to me, and she was another hardcore fan. And this Bombay theme started, and you won't believe it. I mean, probably 30 seconds after the song was, song started, tears started rolling down my eyes. And probably towards the end of the song, I realized that this girl had put her head on my shoulder and she was weeping.
That's what Rahman's song does, it brings everybody together. It's just phenomenal.
Chanda, talking about the concert, talking about this particular concert, the one which I loved is the starting beats of Hama Hama, where it changed the beats completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Such a new generation kind of music.
Yeah.
I also like the rap version of Titi.
Oh yeah.
Who's that girl who did that? There was one concert where they had a rap version inside. Not Titi. Chandralekha. Chandralekha had a rap in between. The Australian singers.
Malaysian concert, right? The Malaysian.
I think maybe it is Malaysian concert. Because only that one. Correct. She was a Malaysian only. Correct. She was a Malaysian Tamil, but she did an English rap inside Chandralekha. That was phenomenal. That was great. Really good.
Since you brought up Titi, what do you think about the first interlude? The bass guitar, Rahman's voice.
I love it.
I don't think anybody can create such a song.
No,
nobody can create it. Even Rahman can't create it again, man.
And I think Maniratnam and PC Sriram did such fantastic justice to that song. When that camera goes around and all. Now it is simple. Now it is. Back then it was something which nobody would have imagined. It was just great. And I'm a huge Hira fan as well. So
have you heard any melody songs with such a bass guitar and such a, I don't know what genre it is.
I don't know.
Something new. I don't know what that was.
I don't know. It's
so
that entire album was so awesome. When even that Chandralekha riff when it starts, and then I think it was a very specific melody. Very specific instrument from that keyboard called Korg X1. I think Rahman had just bought that. And he wanted to experiment on that, and then Maniratnam was like, "Please put this," and then they put it. That is what we hear. I mean, we don't know if it's true or not.
When I listen to Tirida, when I hear the first song, I would think this is the best song. Then I move to the next one. I would think, no, I was wrong. This is the best one. Then I go to Rasati. I was wrong completely. This is the best song. That's what happens.
Actually, talking of,
but I still feel that
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Since we touched upon the concerts as well, I'm sure you guys might remember the One Heart tour, the movie that was released.
The movie, yeah, I saw it in.
Did you guys end up going to the theaters to watch it or what?
I did.
You know what? I went alone.
And
I
Anup,
went
did
with
you?
my family.
I don't know. Sorry.
And Rohit?
I went to the Bollywood theater.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I went to Burwood too. Yeah.
I have something interesting to
Yeah.
share on that one. So when that released, I took a sickie that day and I wanted to go and watch it. And I obviously booked the ticket the day before, thinking that, I may not get the ticket the next day because it's releasing tomorrow and stuff. So I I went to the movies and I was waiting patiently, and then not even one soul turned up. And I was the only one sitting in the entire movie in Village Cinemas.
Wow.
And halfway through the movie, the staff member comes in to check, right? And this guy like, are you in the right movie? I said, yeah, absolutely, and I'm enjoying it. So I wanted to know. I mean, of course, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie because I'm biased. Number one is the thing is, I mean, it was an amazing concert documentary to watch,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it still plays on my Apple TV every now and then because I feel that's something special. So on that note, I remember asking Ranjit yesterday. There you go. I remember asking Ranjit yesterday about this particular documentary in regards to how did it all happen. So he said it was AR's decision that he wanted to make one of the tours into a documentary film, and he wanted the fans to experience something, and that's how it all turned out. And we're so thankful, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
did you guys any memories from that movie documentary?
I have a very quirky memory about that movie. Obviously like everybody else, we love all the songs, but
Yeah.
I have a very I specifically love the jazz one, the one which who's that? Who's
Oh, yeah.
she's the she's the instructor from the US. What's her name? I forgot her name, man. She sings it. Yeah, she actually sings it.
Yeah,
And Rahman is on. Yeah. Berkeley, yes, from Berkeley College.
College,
She's the
yes.
instructor.
Yeah.
She's the instructor there. And she sings it. She sings it. Anne Marie was on the violin, and Rahman was on the piano.
Oh,
and then Keba comes onto into the guitar, and then we get bass guitar stand in, and it was a great song. It was a great song.
Awesome.
And there's one more song in that album, which within that concert, which was only played for a short while, was Warriors of Heaven and Earth. That is also a great album. Warriors of Heaven and Earth also.
That's a
great album.
Beautiful album.
Yeah.
We missed that.
Those two are quirky memories of One Heart for me.
Nice. What about you, Sunil?
Regarding this movie?
One Heart Tour, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I went to this theater in Parramatta, and I had a similar memory, like what similar scenario, like what you experienced. There are probably 2 or 3 guys in the theater. I was the one sitting here alone. I was in my own world. I didn't even realize that there nobody, besides me. During the interval, I realized that there is no one here. So yep, I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, awesome.
I also I equally enjoyed the Amazon Prime thing.
Me too.
Harmony. Yes.
Harmony, yeah. And the songs, especially the what is final song?
Oh yeah, the finale one. Yeah, that was
finale. Yes. Yeah.
I used to keep on Mojo.
Yeah, that's it. And
I keep revisiting it.
I take it you have seen that movie though, right, Anup? Or you haven't?
Yes, I have seen that movie, but not in theater.
Yeah. Okay, great. And Rohit, did you watch it at the theaters too?
I watched it at the theaters, and I was actually afraid that I was never going to get to watch it. I went on the last day, but there were a few people in the theater.
Right.
But the only movie that I was the only one in the theater was one of those crappy movies that he composed exceptionally good music for, Juta Hi Sahi, with John Abraham.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Love songs, man.
An amazing song. Lot of good songs, but
yeah, of course.
Again, he's like, the movie was just a big dud.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I touched upon this topic for about 1 hour tour was, from what I hear from you, is also the fact that it was purely for the hardcore ARR fans. That movie was released
Exactly.
for fans. I agree, which is unanimous now. And obviously, it was not made for the commercial aspect. Um,
Correct.
and I want to do my bit as a fan to serve from 99 Songs perspective, in terms of helping the team to market it and promote it well here in Australia. So I would love to talk to you about that more in detail, maybe offline, but I will need your support. I've also been in touch with one of the distributors here in Melbourne, who is the sole distributor for entire Australia, to make 99 Songs an epic movie. And regardless of the fact whether or not it works outside India, I mean in India, whether in India or anywhere else, I want to ensure that it rocks in Australia. So I've got a few ideas, and I've already been in touch with someone, and I'm thinking you guys might be able to help me out with that. And in return,
absolutely.
guys, look, obviously, we are coming almost towards the end of this podcast. I would have loved to have this podcast for 5 hours and just talk about AR, but unfortunately not. We also have a life outside of this podcast. I wanted to close off this podcast with one last and final segment. I hate to say this, but unfortunately, we have to close this podcast. Um, I wanted to ask, this is something that I've been asking every guest who comes into the podcast, is what's that message for AR that you would like to give? It can be a message, it can be a song, or it can be absolutely anything that you want to send it to him. And I have something very, very special planned towards the end of the season, which I can't reveal, but these messages are going to be precious. I can tell you that. So, having said that, maybe Sunil,
Give us
is
give
there a
us give us
message?
30 seconds to come. Give us 30 seconds to compose our thoughts, because there's so much we want to say.
So we will go one after the other. So while one person saying, you can think about that. So Sunil, I'll put you on the spot, man. If you had
Oh my goodness.
if you had a message for AR, what was that going to be?
I've been imagining me meeting Rahman for the past 25 years. Okay? No, maybe 3 years. Go meeting Rahman. But never get that particular question, what I would put it on Rahman. What would I ask Rahman? Still now. I don't know what to ask him. It's a very difficult question for me, man. I just want to continue the way it is. I want to continue him composing the music the way he's doing. I want him to continue spreading love the way he's doing. Nothing should change. Continue it, and we'll be following him. That's all I wanted to say. Maybe I'll come up with a better idea if you give me some more time. But this is coming from my heart. That's it.
Am I the only one who feels that Sunil is a bit emotional because he's speaking about this?
Yes. No. Everybody's emotional. I'm quite emotional.
Everything we are all.
Anup, what about you, buddy? What's that message for AR? And he will get this message.
I don't know, man. I've got so many questions, but the one thing, most important thing I want to ask him is, how does he remain so cool and composed, unaffected by everything happening in the world? How does he, remain or maintain the composure? That's one thing that I've always had in my mind.
Right. Nice. And Rohit, what about you? Message for
Same
AR.
thing. How he stays so humble when there are countless people who are going after other composers who have let their ego take over. And there's this one guy who's actually going, okay, everything is come, but it's all up to God. That is what I look up to. And one of the reasons I actually love Rahman is because of his composure, his humility, the need that he wants to do. Even yesterday's tweet was, I'm something that, I'm worried about the people outside without food, or
Yes.
worried about food for tomorrow, not able to get any sleep. That it just shows that
Mm. Mm.
he's just not thinking about himself.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Very true. Nice. And so that leaves us with Naushad.
Okay, I get really emotional when I have to
It's
say
fine.
this.
It's good.
I'm gonna just quickly say this though. I'll say, Rahmanji, thank you very much for everything. You were there in my childhood. You were there when I fell in love first. You were there when I got married. You were there when my father passed away. You were there at every single step of my life. And at every point in time, whenever I was feeling happy or sad or just blah, it was always A.R. Rahman's music that gave me something to hold on to tide me over that situation, whatever situation it was. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done. And I have just one question to ask you, just one. You've done so much to touch so many lives. If there's one thing that you want your legacy to be remembered by, what will that be?
Beautiful. Very well said. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Really good.
I'm shivering now.
You got us all emotional with the way you were saying. Look,
remember the one night I actually spoke to him over the phone at 4 o'clock in the morning. My sister was
Chandra,
at bed.
I want to know.
yeah,
Hello?
yeah, we can hear you.
Go on,
Yeah.
go on.
No, so my sister was at Benjarong in Madras, and he was there, and she actually called me on the mobile at like 4 o'clock in the morning. This is 20 years ago, but it was one of those magical moments that I'll never forget.
Nice. Sunil, you were saying something?
Chandra, I want to know. I just want to know when Rahman is coming to Sydney next.
Who knows, man? I wish we all knew. I would have said when is he coming to Melbourne? But one thing he has promised. When I met him in Trichy just 2 months ago, when I was talking to him in the backstage, I told him, sir, one thing that you should please allow me to do is let me drive you from the airport to the hotel in the car. And then he said, oh, that's not a problem. And but will you let me drive? I said, absolutely, sir. So yeah, waiting for that day. I would say I would, if I had to ask, I would be selfishly asking, sir, when are you coming to Melbourne?
Hey, man,
Never mind. I
we'll all
can
be
travel to
there
Melbourne.
anyway.
And guys, thank you so much. I would like to thank you all. I mean, I think we had some amazing fun. We really need to do another part of it, I think, because even this an hour and a half, 2 hours wasn't actually sufficient. We had so much to talk. And I think to summarize, there are a couple of background score addicts here. I have never imagined that someone actually does this too. I thought I was the craziest who just goes crazy with the songs, but I didn't know that you guys exist too, man. And somebody who is absolutely stuck with Pudu Vellai Malai and then Trida Trida. And it's just amazing. I mean, the thing is, what I love about this podcast and then the way music brings us all together is the magic. I mean, who would have thought that Naushad sitting in Wollongong and me sitting in Melbourne and then Anoop sitting in another side of Melbourne, we're all connected, and then we're connected for a reason. It's his music. It's the man beyond his music, I think. And yeah, I mean, I said this to one of the engineers I spoke to last week, Gulraj, during the podcast, that I said to him that I consider myself extremely lucky and blessed to be existing in this era called A.R.Rahman. So,
True.
and yeah, I'm sure we all fans couldn't agree more. And yeah, guys, I would really like to thank you. You gave me your 2 hours of your time, and we had a good laugh about so many things. And you got us all emotional as well. Oh my goodness, I think that's what his magic does.
Yes,
So,
that's true.
guys, thank you so much. and I'm really, really looking forward to doing it all over again, probably in the second part in a couple of weeks.
Sure, definitely.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We look forward to that.
All of us together. So, yeah, it's such a nice experience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you.
Very much.
Catch you later. Bye.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Good night.